So good evening, everyone, and good morning to New York members. So today's topic is to identify toxicity. So when we say toxicity, we have heard the word toxic, but toxicity seems very unreal or a fake word. But then there is a dictionary meaning to it. So the meaning is the quality of being very harmful or unpleasant in a pervasive or insidious way, which means like somebody's toxic level can be felt right from their presence itself. Okay, so everybody has a perception about a toxic person. For everyone, there will be somebody who's very toxic or something like that. So everyone will have a different definition. So you will have to identify what is your definition for toxicity. Now, why do you feel the other person is toxic? Before we move on to what is exactly a toxic person, we will just see how we identify or how we describe somebody as a toxic person. So number one is whenever you're jealous of somebody's achievements or something like that, most of the time, that hatred is so much that you try to define that person as bad person. You will not look at yourself. You will first define okay, I'm jealous of this person, and you won't even accept that you're jealous. It will be just the feeling which is there, and you'll be like, oh, this person is very bad. It's you won't analyze your own feelings, whether it's you who's feeling that person is bad or that person is actually bad. So one is jealousy. Second is when there are achievements of the other person. Now, if you are competing or if you are at a lower position than that person, or your achievements are not as good as that person, whatever it might be, it doesn't have to be your salary, job, or anything like that. It can be as small as sometimes in your siblings also. If your parents like somebody, your elder sibling or younger sibling more, you start developing those kind of toxic feelings towards them. It's not in everyone, but there are certain situations wherein we have seen a very toxic behavior. Okay, then there are some people who try to show off. They want to show off everything of theirs. They might not be having those many achievements or anything like that. Like I got a small gift, maybe I will be putting it on social media. I will try to show off and all those things. So somebody who doesn't like me might find I'm just a show off. I'm just a person who's just faking everything kind of thing. For me, it might be a different situation how it is. Somebody who's giving you a reality check. So suppose somebody tells you okay, your behavior is not right, or the way you are behaving with somebody or you're talking to someone is not right. Especially when if you have friends who have been in relationships and all, and when you try to tell them okay, this person is not right for you or something like that, in the end you are the one who's branded bad. So these kind of things are also taken into consideration. And the number one reason which I put last is your assumption. Most of the time, you brand somebody as toxic based on your own assumptions without analyzing, without thinking about anything. You just assume, this person I don't like, he's toxic, or something else. You just make up some story in your mind and you define somebody as toxic. Now, the actual definition of a toxic person. A toxic person who is someone who makes others feel bad with actions or words. So these are the people who will try to bring you down at any situation. It might be even small situations or which are not even required. These people leave you exhausted. You will be completely emotionally drained working with them or talking to them or even being in their presence. Even if you are in a party or something like that, you will be completely exhausted. Some people are they will come to any party, a good suppose somebody's birthday, wedding, whatever it might be, and they will start with their own bad things or some gossip or something else, which will be you have come for a event, or if you have come for a occasion which is like very happy occasion, and somebody is taking you in the corner and just telling you oh, you know what this one did, this party which is organized, it's all from the black money or something else. That will bring you down, the whole perception of this person down. You are being invited to somebody's party, you are eating their food, and then you get a person who's just going on cribbing. So if you don't like that person, you should not have attended that party first of all. But then these are the people who will try to spread negativity all the time. So you need to identify what are the toxic traits and what are the toxic personalities. Okay, so some of the examples are given here in the slide itself with the pictures. So they will never apologize to you. They will make you defend yourself. If there is a tough situation, if you require a support or something like that, they will put you in a situation wherein you sit and defend yourself and you won't get any help. They will never support you. It might be a fake support or a show of a support, but it might not be a real support. They will try to manipulate, and they will have all this negative personality which will come through. Now, there are six different types of toxic people, but those are the broad, what do you call, categories kind of thing. But then there are some toxic traits which are described. So when I was even reading about the toxic traits and all, some articles had 21 to 25 toxic traits and all those things. But we won't be covering all this. We will try to cover as much as we can, and how much we normally come across. So one of the biggest toxic trait is being a liar, a continuous liar. Okay, sometimes we do lie. It's for some to avoid some situation, or it's just to make somebody happy or something like that. But these lies are something which are really bad. Those might not be true even 1%, but then it's as I said in the first slide, because of jealousy or something like that, some toxic people will try to create all these lies and make a picture out of it wherein you will believe it completely. They are manipulative. They will try to manipulate each and every situation. They will try to put things in such a way that you will try to believe them. If you're not believing them, they will put in such situations with examples, with all these ideas and all, wherein they will force you to your course of mind is diverted and you're manipulated in such a way that you will think the way they are thinking. They will only point fingers at others and ignore the good in them. Now, if you have a friend who's who did not help you maybe one time, okay, then in this case, these people will step up and they will be like, see, this one, this was a time when he should have been standing with you, or she should have been paying some amount for you, or trying to help you. Okay, this might be your childhood friend, this might be your colleague, this might be your family member, whoever it might be. But these people will have this kind of things, wherein they will try to manipulate you and try to point fingers, saying that, okay, they are never helping you. If you were in this situation, maybe they would have done better. You would have done so much for them, and they're not even doing 1% of it, and all those kind of things. So all this while your childhood friend or whoever it might be must have done so many good things, but then they will put you in such a situation wherein you will be forced to believe that whatever they are saying is true. Then you will try and analyze those situations where they didn't help you, irrespective of what might be the reasons, what might be the situations at that time. The next thing is they will always play a victim card. They will be like, oh, I have so many this thing, I have so many issues, and they will try to find excuses. Whenever, like, if you want their help, they will be like, oh no, I have such a situation at home, or maybe I don't have that kind of money, or they will find some kind of excuses. They will try to be like, the total victims, wherein victims in the sense, somebody who's totally helpless, and you would have done so much more for this person, but then the situation is such that I can't help, and you will fall for this trap. Most of the time you try to think of the situations wherein some people who are you believe are toxic, whether they are falling into these traits or not. So they will try to show, like, I would have done so much for you, but then, oh, don't have time. Oh, my family is not there, or I have something at home, my family emergency is there, or whatever it might be. So they will always find all such excuses. Next is talk behind the back and never ready to confront. They will put you in situations, they will make you believe certain things, and they will talk behind somebody's back. Okay, and if you ask them, like, let's confront you, you think this person spoke about me, let's ask them, but they will never come in front or confront. They will be like, oh, I would have come, but I have so and so thing, or whatever might be the excuse. Or they will say, no, no, we should not fight, I'm just telling you so that you be aware about this, you don't go and ask him about this. So this kind of lies will come into picture. Then they can't stand opinions of other people. If they are like some good opinions, or if somebody is thinking highly about the other person, they won't be able to tolerate this. Like, suppose I'm praising one person, So these people will be like, oh, you don't know about this, this person has such a bad background. They used to do like this. They used to fight with people. They won't take any good feedback about them, or they will not let you give good feedback about others also. If you say like, oh my God, that person is so good, he tries to help everyone, he's feeding the poor or whatever it might be, they will be like, oh, but from where the money is coming, it might be black money, it might be something like, they must have robbed something, that's why they are trying to do all these good deeds to show off and all. So these are the kind of things they will try to push into you. They will also not tolerate somebody praising others. Every time they will try to show something negative, something bad into another. So this is like, showing others in bad light. Somebody who's like, even if you try to see the best in them, they will blind you with it. Okay, they are rude and disrespectful. So in front of others, they will be very sweet. They are actually wearing a mask kind of thing, and they will be trying to show like, they are the good people who are trying to show you the right path or something like that. But in reality, when you try analyzing these people, they are actually rude and very disrespectful. You'll have to see which are the situations when they are talking about. They only care about themselves. They don't want to hear others, or they don't want to hear anything good about others. So anything like, if you try to praise somebody else, they won't take it, but if you say something good about them, they will be like all flowery and everything, like, full of themselves. They will try to hurt others deliberately. Now, even if somebody has not done anything bad to them, they can't tolerate this kind of a good behavior. They are totally negative, and they will try to hurt someone for no reason, without doing that other person doing anything. And in this process, they will also try to get other people and get the support kind of thing. And most of the time, when they get support, like suppose if you are the person whom they are trying to involve, okay, like they start bad mouthing someone and all, they will get you, and then they will make you the scapegoat. They will go, oh, this person was with me and he was saying all these things, though it's coming from their heart or their discussion. Now, third person won't know what discussion happened or anything like that, but then they will start believing that, oh, the third person, whoever was your friend, has started making up stories and all these things. Okay, so they are mostly fake. They give out negative vibes, but not everybody comes to know about this negative vibes. They are extremely selfish, and they only see their benefits in all this. Their behavior is mostly inconsistent. So they will tell you one thing right now, the next minute they will change their behavior, or they will change their decision or their statements what they have made. So like suppose you are with these people and they are all standing together, they will try to analyze what's the vibe of that place. So if everybody is praising, they will try to manipulate that behavior, and for that minute they will be like giving fake praises and all. The minute the group reduces to maybe 2 or 3 people and they are in control, they will try to change the whole scenario. They will try to change all the statements that were made previously, and this behavior will again change in some other scenario with the same case. Okay, and they will pretend to care a lot just to earn your trust. Like there will be a lot of people, they are trying to pretend, because if you see, sometimes you'll get WhatsApp chats, oh, you are so wonderful and you're so this thing and all. But these praises never come on a group. If they are in a group, or if you are in presence of others, these praises will never come. So the pretending kind of a behavior is one of the most famous toxic trait. Okay. Now, we always talk about others being toxic, but we never self-review ourselves. Is it always the other person who's a toxic person? It never, it might not be, but toxic person will never accept that they are toxic. But it is very important from our side also to review ourselves whether we are really toxic. I should be sitting and seeing, like, do I fall into this category? The previous categories, those are some of the traits. Do I try to do all these things? Do I lie, or do I try to manipulate something? You're not going to answer it to somebody else, but you need to sit and analyze your behavior. What I am doing, how am I visible to others? how are these traits looking? I mean, I might try to manipulate people and all, but I might feel that I'm very great at manipulating people. I'm very good at doing all these lies and all those things. But there are people who can catch these vibes. There are people who can see this because your behavior is inconsistent, and eventually your true colors will be visible to everyone. So you should start reviewing yourself. Just go through the points. Am I doing like this, or is my behavior what I acted maybe innocently or without knowing, is it falling into those traits or categories? Also, if suppose I'm behaving like, I'm trying to manipulate, I'm trying to make up fake stories, or I'm trying to pretend, so would I like somebody like me, another copy of me, or the way I behave, would I like somebody else behaving like that with me? Suppose to, both of us are sitting and we are just faking with each other. Do I want another fake person and we sit in a room and be comfortable? If not, then it's time to change. Also, everybody should see and reflect, how we react. Lot of time, it's most of the time because of anger or something like that, that we react in a particular way. And no matter how many times people say like, you should breathe and react or something like that, we normally just burst out. We just give out that opportunity to somebody else. So you should sit and reflect, how do I react, or how do I improve myself on this? Then self-reflection and acceptance is very important. Now, if you go back to the points, and if you find that, out of this maybe 20, 25 points, whichever are there, or whatever traits are there, do I fall into this? Am I the criticizer? I'm always finding the bad things in other, or if I'm the person who's always playing victim card, like, oh, I had a bad luck because of this person. I could have achieved this, but my colleague failed me, or I could have done so much, but then somebody else was the reason for it. So am I falling into this? Am I falling into any of this? Am I draining somebody's energy? This is something what you will have to reflect on yourself and accept whether I am that kind of a person or no. Now again, this is for your own thing. You don't have to go and tell everybody, oh, I was a toxic person and now I'm improved or something. No, you can do it quietly. Okay, so what can you do? There are a lot of things you can do to dump somebody who's toxic, but some of the main things what you should do is try to analyze the other person. First, you have to analyze yourself, whether find out whether you are toxic or no, because it might be your vision or your perspective that everybody is toxic. If you are not falling into any of those categories, then you go and look at this category, wherein you have to do something to improve yourself. Sometimes it's very difficult to analyze someone because it takes a long time to understand that somebody is wearing a mask. There are situations wherein, like, you have somebody who's supposed to be your best friend, or who's supposed to be a very good family member or a team member or anybody, and you believe like, this person is really good and thinking about me and all those things. But after maybe like, 5 6 years, you realize, oh, all this time I fell a prey for this person. So you need to start looking at everyone with a very cautious look. I'm not saying be suspicious, like, every thing you question of that person, but do not trust everybody very easily just because somebody did or somebody told you a gossip or something like that. Internal information doesn't mean like, that person is always thinking good about you. So try to analyze the person and find out what are the situations. Second, address these characteristics. Sometimes people don't know that they are the problem. So try to help these people. Sometimes what happens is some people have this habit of making fun of others or speaking anything. And like, they feel that they are very funny kind of stuff. But while doing this, they hurt others, and then it creates a negative image of them. But by heart, they are not these bad people. So if possible, you should try and help them and let them know, like, try and avoid this kind of behavior, but you stay in your limits, because what you might not understand is that a person is really innocent or they try to act as innocent. So sometimes you try to address, like, see, don't do like this, or don't behave this way, so and so is the perception of other person or something like that. So try and address all these small things to them within a limit, but not too much. Okay? Do not encourage or reward toxicity by falling for it. Now, a lot of times, you know that person is toxic, especially in a work situation and all. You know that the person with whom you are working is not really encouraging or something like that. But this person should not be rewarded. Like everybody knows, if you're getting feedbacks about this person, every time you're getting a negative remark about this person, and in spite of that, if you are still trying to support that person and all, you should try to discourage all these kind of practices. Do not become part of a situation without analyzing it. A lot of time we just believe, like, somebody said good about me and said something bad about somebody else. Okay, so I must believe this person because he's always talking good about me. Do not do this thing without analyzing. Somebody is praising you all the time, so there might be like you must have really done something good, or if somebody is simply buttering you, there is a huge difference, and that is where you need to identify this. Avoid reacting and by establish boundaries for it. So a lot of time you will be instigated, you will be pushed forward. For example, you go and suppose there is a team member who's just telling you, you go to the HR and ask them why this policy, or ask them why they are behaving like that, or why this policy is only for me or something like that. And you will be fully charged, you will go and fight with the HR, you will go and fight with the management and come. The purpose is established for this person. He will get whatever answer he wanted, whatever the thing he or she wanted to achieve. But what happened to you is you went like a warrior over there, fought, became bad in front of everyone, and you came back. In the whole thing, you are at loss. So you establish boundaries before going and fighting, before going and questioning somebody about their intentions and all. You analyze, why is somebody pushing me? If somebody is telling you go to the HR and ask about the policies, why is this person not going and asking? Try and question this smaller things, like, if somebody is telling go leave the job, you are not you don't deserve to be here, you should be getting so and so salary and you should be getting so much increment. So why are you here? Did you get good increment? When they are discussing, no, I also didn't get a good increment, I'm also not happy. But you are not leaving, you're telling me to leave. You're telling me go and fight with the HR, or you say, like, go and fight with the manager or TL or your team members, saying that so and so is the situation. But this person is playing safe. He's just putting you as a armor over there, getting the things established for themselves. So suppose you go, you fight, you get terminated, you don't get a good increment, you don't get certain things. What is going off this person? That person just got you to do things and got the benefits for themselves. Try to verify the facts before you believe. So a lot of time you will believe a lot of things. Somebody is trying to tell you, like, oh, that person was bad mouthing you, they were talking so much about you, they said like, so you are like this, you are like that. But before you believe that person saying that, whether that person is really bad mouthing me, can you verify? No. If you can't, then how are you going to believe it? And why is this person telling you? Why that person didn't tell the person who was actually bad mouthing? So you need to start verifying the facts. Is it possible that somebody came to know about this fact, what they are telling you? So try to pay attention. This attention is the major key. Sometimes we blindly believe a lot of people, and then we don't pay attention to the cues that we get. Every time there is a toxic person, there is a trait, you always get a vibe, you always get a clue about this. So try to pay attention to all these smaller things. You reflect on whatever their actions are, whoever's action it might be. If they are telling you bad things about others, be 100% sure that they will tell about you to others again. So if somebody is telling me, like, oh, so and so person is so bad, they are doing like this, like that, I will agree, I'll say yes, whatever, I will believe them and all. Then I should also be ready that this person will go take information from me and badmouth me also. Because if somebody cannot hold secret about anybody, you don't believe them that they will hold secrets about you also. Identify and listen to people who try to give you hints. A lot of time you will get hints. You will ignore them. There are red flags at all points. All these toxic people give you hints at every stage of life. Even if at the minutest thing, you will be getting a hint. But most of the time we try to ignore stuff, and then we fall in trouble. And that's when you get, like, later on when you sit and analyze, you will feel like, okay, these were my hints. The most important thing is your gut feeling. Sometimes you have a gut feeling about certain person. believe in it, because your gut feeling is never wrong. Sometimes you have this thing like, I will believe this person because he's so sweet, he's so nice and everything, but your gut feeling is having something else. So try and believe that. Do not overshare your extreme personal details or your ideas. Like, sometimes you come up with some amazing ideas and you think like, based on this I will be achieving something, I will get something. Some people get this startup ideas and all, they go and they share with other people. The other people will go rob your ideas and they will establish, and where you are here sharing your stuff, oversharing your extreme personal details. Lot of times somebody will be telling you about their personal tragedies, their relationships, or their other account related stuff, or the money issues or whatever. Now these toxic people feed on such extreme personal details, and then those details are shared outside wherein you don't know how things are going on. You have to feel the energy. Lot of times you will feel the, as I told you earlier also, the gut feeling, the vibes. You feel the energy which is there. So try and feel this. Everybody with experience gets kind of a vibe from everyone, like, if somebody is good or bad. Okay, check on the friends also, like, you have to see the friend circle that they belong to. Sometimes they have this gossip monger gang. They are only telling you about the internal stories and those kind of stuff. So you have to keep a check on all these things. If you see like there are a group of people who are always negative, always gossiping, always telling you stories about somebody's personal life or anything like that, keep a check on these things and you stay away from them. Okay, so this is an exercise for everyone. Go back to the points which we have discussed. Recollect of the instances, like, when you have encountered somebody of these points. Now, don't judge someone as a toxic person just by one or two traits. See the instances, see the pattern, and try to analyze a whole situation. A lot of people will have this traits, but some might be innocently having these traits without understanding, like, this is how people are portraying them. Or some are really very bad, they have really bad intentions. So you try to put the instances, you try to justify, and then see where you're falling into this. Okay, go back to the instances where you believed someone and fell into trouble. I'm sure a lot of people must have had this kind of experiences wherein they believed someone very blindly and went and fell into trouble. Analyze if you're still with someone like this. It might be your friend, it might be your family, it might be your colleague, or it might be anybody. Just try and analyze these people, and then see if you are falling into that category or you are having somebody who's from that category. One thing is, like, you cannot change the people, but you can change the people that you are with. So that's one thing. You will not be able to change a toxic person. Yes, sometimes if somebody has realized from their own behavior and all that they are portrayed as toxic and they can change, these people can change. But 99% of toxic people prefer being like that. Okay, so instead of trying to change the other people and getting a bad reputation for you, change the company. Company in the sense, not the place where you are working. Okay. So the conclusion is, everyone will find the other person toxic. So try to analyze thoroughly. Nobody is perfect. So somebody will have some traits, not one or two traits make you toxic. So try and find out which are the traits, and which traits, if you're finding somebody who's always seeking for sympathy, always playing victim card, always cribbing about others or giving you bad intentions and all. So try and identify all those traits. Sometimes give a benefit of doubt. Sometimes maybe, like, because of the situation, somebody behaved in a particular way. They are normally not behaving like that or anything. Maybe they were angry, they had some personal issues or whatever. So sometimes try and give a benefit of doubt, but not always. Always try to look for the intentions and learn your lessons from your experience. Now, once you learned, like, you believe somebody and went and fought with somebody and all, you learned your lesson, like, I was made a scapegoat. So don't do the same thing again. Try and learn from that. Trust cautiously and don't believe blindly. Lot of times we just trust someone. Oh, that person is very sweet, I'm trusting. From my personal experiences, I have always got a bad experience from a super sweet person, which everybody was like, oh, this person is very sweet. But I have learned, like, I try to avoid super sweet people, because nobody can be always very, very sweet. You have your lows, you have your highs, you have your emotional breakdowns and all, but you cannot be like, always very, very sweet, very, very happy all the time, or pretending all the time. So you need to see who are these people and try to identify them. Okay. And don't believe blindly is one of the biggest motto, like, always try to see where, like, what are the things going on, try to get hints about them. Now I'm not saying like, now start sitting and saying, okay, tick your mind, this one is toxic, this one is toxic, or something like that. But try to see situations wherein you have suffered, or you have received some bad negative vibes kind of. Okay. So don't be toxic nor support toxicity. So that's what I'm going to conclude the whole thing with.